Morning folks, and welcome back to the free 1986 Honda GL1200 Goldwing Interstate model. And just like we figured, I made a video about a month ago with all the big plans I had for this bike. And a lot of that derived from the fact that it's got 60,000 miles on it, and that's usually when everybody's stator goes out. So I was going to try to do a little preventive maintenance. I was going to pull the motor out, do the stator and the clutch and a bunch of stuff. And then I said, well, if I got it all apart to do that, I might as well pull the plastic off and paint it and on and on and on. But like I also mentioned, I have several restorations that I'm doing. Work keeps me really busy, and I have a couple restorations I promised I'd be done by spring, and some builds I gotta get done also, and what have you. And that brings us to where we're at now. After the big plans video, now we got a big changes video. So yeah, it's just not looking like, here we are a month later, and this bike has done nothing but collect dust. I haven't been able to get started on it. I was finishing up stuff from last year, and I had to get caught up on some restoration stuff. And so yeah, we're gonna have a change of plans. So now it's looking like I just really have a bunch of maintenance work, some repairs to do. I've got a lot of work to do anyway, so I can ride this thing reliably this coming season. And that's the most important thing. If I get to the point where I can do anything else, well, let's go over what needs to be done and what I'm going to try to get done this year. I may still do all this stuff. Most likely, I'm not going to get done what I want to get done this year, so most likely I'll be doing it next year. I'll kind of plan for it. I kind of waited till the last minute to make plans this year, and it just didn't work out that way, as most of you probably figured. But I do have a lot of stuff I need to do. Let me get you out of the tripod here. Yeah, we need brakes all the way around this thing, that's for sure. If you remember, I got to do fork seals. When I got it, these things were just covered in oil. I want to go ahead and do the belts. I'm going to check them out, but most likely I'm going to do them. Third-hand information was that they were probably done not long ago, but for the cost of it, just go ahead, take care of them. Now, cosmetically, I probably, over the winter time, I doubt I'm going to get to the paint job because I want to do a pretty elaborate paint job. I already got something in mind. And it's going to take a lot of time. And like I said, I already got a bunch of restorations I'm in the middle of. And to do what I want to do and do it nice without rushing is going to take so many hours. There's so much work here to strip this bike down, prep these panels, and do the paint job that I want to do. It's probably not going to get done, but I'll probably go ahead and start shining up all my aluminum, the belt covers, the cam covers here, touch up. The engine's real dirty underneath, clean all that up, freshen the paint up on that. And I want to get checking out my final drive here. Sorry for the no lighting. There's a lot of grime under there. I want to make sure all the seals are good, and I know it's got good oil in it. I checked that, but I just want to make sure we don't have problems there. And one thing I'm definitely going to do is I'm going to get rid of these old heated grips somebody had put on here. They're kind of cumbersome, and they don't work. So they just got wires everywhere. I'd rather just get them off of there. I think I'm going to pull these guards off too. I know a lot of people really like those. I don't know if I'm going to put them back on or not. I'm not sure, but I'll probably get them out of the way. And one thing we talked about for the summer, I'm going to get an extra windshield. Maybe tinted would be really nice if I could find it. And have one cut down for the summer so you can get more wind to cool you off. But anyway, I got, there's a mess of wires in here. They've got a little bit of a menagerie going on here. And some of it, I'm not even sure. It doesn't make sense where it's going. So one thing I definitely want to do is I'm getting ready to take that stuff off. Like I told you, get these grips and all that wire off, and then go through here. I got it run all up through here and get some of this wire sorted out, because I got some wires that appear to be hooked into the ones on the battery. This is one of the things, you know, a little outlet to charge, but the way they got it wired doesn't make any sense. But right here, I got a bunch of dead end wires and stuff like that. So yeah, with these things already having stator issues, that's the last thing I need. So get that cleaned up. I'm gonna go ahead and solder those stator wires together like people talk about. And I'm gonna pick up one of them MOSFET rectifier regulators. And that's supposed to help a lot. And I'm gonna see if I can't. I mean, I'm not having any issues with my stator whatsoever yet. I'm gonna do all the preventive stuff I can. Hell, if that thing will give me another 30, 40,000 miles, that could be 3 years for me, as much as I'm gonna ride it, or more. Hell, you know, could be many more. So I think for now, we're just gonna do a bunch of this preventive stuff and get this bike super mechanically reliable and just ride it this year, you know, this upcoming year. I just don't have time to do what I want to do. You guys know how that is, and I had big dreams and big hopes, but I just don't see it happening. And I want to ride more than anything, because that's another thing I thought was funny. I said, hey, this year I'm going to ride more. I'm tired of working all the time. And then what is the very first thing I do? I decided I'm going to tear my bike completely apart and refurbish it. Just causing myself more work. So man, the more I thought about it, you know, the bike already starts and runs great. And all that, there's nothing wrong with any of the stuff I talked about. So, you know, like the old saying goes, why fix what's not broke? So I would, you know, eventually like to get this thing really fixed up, customize it so it's my own, you know, so it's, you know what I'm talking about. But right now, probably the smartest thing to do is just ride the crap out of this thing and enjoy it. What do you think? So yeah, just like I say, try to get as much done and, you know, do as much preventive stuff as far as the stator. I do plan on keeping this thing, you know, forever, I guess. I don't really plan on getting rid of it. I don't have any reason to. Even if I upgrade, I'll probably still keep the thing. So eventually, I would like to do all the things I talked about and definitely want to customize it. Most likely, I'll get that taken care of, you know, next winter at the least, even if I don't yank the motor out and everything that I wanted to do. But yeah. But anyway, for now, we got some work to get done, so let's get to it. Okay, guys, so like I just mentioned, the thing that's driving me crazy right now is all this unnecessary wiring everywhere. And I talked about I want to get these wires soldered together, the stator wires, get that connection out of there. This connection here that ends up getting hot and melts. I want to get rid of that and wire this stuff. Wire it, solder this together, solid. And then I don't have it yet. I'm going to order this here shortly, as soon as I get paid. I'm going to change out this regulator to the MOSFET type. These just kind of take all the extra power and turn it into ground or heat. And it's real hard on the stators, and the other ones that just have a better system, and they tend to be a lot better on the stators and they last longer. So we're going to go with that, and that should prolong the life of that stator. Hey, maybe not, who knows, but we'll find out. Even a brand new stator can break, you know, leave you on the side of the road. So first things first, let's get rid of all this unnecessary wiring. I'm gonna have to get the seat off and get this cover off here. So stand by. Sure needs cleaned up under there. All right, let's get off that tank cover. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and unhook that battery and get the battery out. I want to charge that one up. That's just a shop donor battery anyway. I still have to get the right one for this. First thing you want to do is take your negative off. That way you don't accidentally touch your positive to something ground. As long as the negative's unhooked from the battery, which goes to the frame, then you can't short this out. I'll show you. A lot of people don't know about this stuff. They're scared of it. So get your stuff off. And then make sure you bend your wires away, because if not, the memory will bring them right back and touch the battery when you're not expecting it. And you could have some serious problems there. So now, look, you can touch this right to metal and it won't ground out or anything, because the ground is not, it can't short. It's no longer hooked up. And I know to some of you are like, yeah, no kidding, but a lot of people don't realize that. So you always do your negative first and last, or your ground, whatever you want to call it, okay? That is a fact, Jack. Some of you might get that. All right. See this kind of wiring? I can't stand it. That stuff drives me nuts. But anyway, I'm gonna get all that cleaned up. I guess I could grab my little zip gun. That'd be much better than doing all this by hand, but that's the way I started. Oh, nice. Just drop that thing. Yeah, what they do, run the wire through. Okay, of course, nothing can be easy. All right, let's get back to taking this cover off. Okay, guys, it's actually been years since I've had to take one of these covers off. On a 1200. That's what I get for doing so many 1000s and 1100s. So give me a second to figure out, remember where all my bolts are, and I'll probably time lapse it. I got to take some of this stuff off here and get access in there. But let's see. Let me sort it back out again, and we'll see what we got. Let me go get my power equipment. Stand by. And I thought about this a couple times, and I moved the camera around and tried to get it set up higher, and there's not really a good angle to get you to be able to see this while I work without somebody filming me. So just bear with me a little bit. I'll see what I can do. There is one bracket there. I just can't remember, guys, if there's one down here on the side. I was thinking there was, but I could be wrong. We'll see what happens when we loosen them up. I didn't actually have to take that out. I thought I did, because it looks like it covers it up, but no, yeah, I didn't even actually have to take that tray out. I thought I did, because the tray was actually over top of this lip, but it does come out underneath of it. Stand by. Okay, yeah, you might be like me. I'm one of the guys that rather try to figure it out a little bit than go right to the actual directions of how to do it. There for a while, all I worked on was GL1200. That's like 8 or 10 years ago. Man, I had a swath of them come in. And then it seems like since then, I've only worked on 1000s and 1100s. Oh, Hold on 1 second. I gotta pull my cover. Whatever you do, don't break these covers. $300, if you can even find them. All right, let's see what happens when we just do these bolts. It seems loose. Let me get you in a better spot. I always was thinking there was another one down there, but let's see here. It does help to take that out because on the other side it's kind of dragging a little bit. Oh, and there we go. So that was right. I hope you could see that good. Not sure if you guys got a good angle on that or not. Let me put this over here on the rack. Now we can get to the meat and potatoes of things. You can see more of what I'm talking about. And I'll show you what I took out there. All right, sorry, the phone rang there for a second. So this rubber piece was right here. And I didn't have to take, even though this is underneath of it, you didn't have to take this off to get to that, as I mentioned. But then when it was time to pick off the plastic piece, it was kind of underneath of this one. So you should pull both of those out, okay? And then pull off the rubber pieces. And there's a bolt here. Same thing on the other side. You'll see what I mean. And then you got the bolt, where would that have been? Right here on the frame. Okay, when that plastic cover's on there, you can see it. It's the only bolts that you can see on it. And that gets it off. Just wiggle it real nice out of there. You don't want to break it up. It's plastic. But now you can see all this crazy. And it's not super bad, but I don't like it. And I want to get it out of there. Half of it's not hooked up here, but yet it's been hooked up on the battery. And one time I didn't hook stuff up, and then the battery, bike something wasn't working. So I want to get all this sorted out. And then not right this minute, but you'll see this video coming up. Let me run around the other side. I'm going to change this rectifier regulator out to a new style that works much, much better and will prolong the life of that stator. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's get some of this wiring out of here. All right, first things first, I just got to find out where all this stuff is going and what it's hooked to. Anyway, it's not that bad. Shouldn't take but a couple minutes here. Get this sorted out and unhooked. And then we'll get at them heated grips too. Okay, guys, this is, it got interesting because for some reason this little wire loom here that's also hooked to the yellow, there's some yellow wires and red and black, it goes up underneath. Looks like maybe for the radio. We're going to see what we got here, but I already got a little bit of a mess, so I might have to work backwards and take off the heated grips first. But let me see what I can sort out. Like I said, first things first, I'm going to eliminate some stuff that I already know I want off of there. Once again, I'm back to manual for some reason. Might have to shorten up the screw. I don't know if that's the original screw. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a different. That's way too long. Okay, so they had a longer bolt in there. I have to get that replaced. Let me just leave it there for now so I can remember that. Always something, right? Wouldn't have it any other way. Oh yeah, I've been dying to get this crap off of here. Because whenever I've had time to do this, I've just rode the bike instead of worked on it. I've been more into riding than working on it, so. And these here are the originals that you can actually take apart. Take them off, put them back on. I don't even know if the camera's picking up all this. Sorry, I'm in the way. Okay. You probably can't see this part. Maybe you can. Don't worry, it's just me struggling with this grip. There's a lot of ways to do this, but since it was moving, I just did the hard whip. Oxford brand. And the other thing is, guys, not only these things don't work, and I could probably get them to work. Okay, what I was saying before the camera decided to turn off on its own here is not only did these things not work, but they're so old and this stuff is like real sticky. In the summertime, it was just totally disgusting. So yeah, this has been a long time coming, folks. But like I say, whenever I had time to work on this bike, I didn't want to work on it, I wanted to ride it. So I'm always working on everybody else's bikes. Anyway, that's why we're here doing this video. So now what we got is, it looks like, okay, so here's our plug that was plugged into the controller and everything. We follow it down. Oh, there's a red wire splitting off. That goes to this auxiliary terminal here. And what it looks like is they got these little tiny wires. Okay, you see this? Well, this makes sense because this is the whole reason for it, but they got big wires tied into the relay. That's how it works. That pulls all your power off of the battery. That's probably what all that stuff here is. I'm about to open it up and sort it out, but that's what it looks like. So they got the power going into the relay. And then when you turn on your controller, it sends a signal down here and it sends the power up to the grips and everything. It's got a heavy wire there, but they must have it tied in here somewhere. So, oh, I know. See? It's not, like I said earlier, it's not very educational or riveting, but it's part of this process of getting this thing. I don't need any electrical problems. You know what I'm saying? Most of the preventiveness is to keep this stator alive for a while. And this is the last thing we need, is random wires shorting out and what have you. So we're just trying to figure out what it is and get it all cleaned up here. Yeah, I can't see no other use for a lot of these wires. They do have another auxiliary wire coming out of that relay. So as far as I can tell, they just have this relay for those grips. So let me see about unhooking this. I still got a lot of mystery to figure out here, but let's see if we can eliminate this here. This has been bugging me for a while. Come on. Thank you. Yeah, of course somebody's got this half messed up. Okay. Ay, people. Look at that wire go. Okay, I'll just stick this back here for now, so we remember what other circuit we gotta figure out. Sorry guys. So we're coming backwards, and it looks to me, like I was saying, that this relay they got stuffed in here is just something they added, which is a good thing. That's how it works. If you're gonna do it right. I think all this was just for those heated grips. Wow. Okay, let me get this. Easiest way is to pull this hose off of this drain here. Push and pull. There we go. And yeah, all that just goes to that plug, so hard to believe all that heavy wire to that little wire, but that's what they had. Boy, that cleans up a lot of stuff for me. That I wanted out of there. So I still got this one circuit here. I'm not sure. Let's see, this is, yeah, that's power coming out. So that's kind of weird when I think about it. Why did they have that wire? Oh, I don't have the battery in here. Yeah, I need to test that and find out what the heck they had there. Okay guys, I want to hook my battery back up and do some testing, because this is supposed to be power and, you know, auxiliary power, but they had a wire hooked to this that was hooked into the other wires that was hooked to the battery. So kind of strange. So I want to do some testing, because it's very possible that somehow, you know, I got a wiring issue somewhere. We're going to find out. I got this battery hooked up now. And back in here, I could have a wiring issue where something wasn't working in the harness and they bypassed it or something. So I want to check real quick and see if that indeed has power. When we turn the key on, let's see if we got some power there. Because if not, then somebody might have had that bypassed for that reason. Let's see if this thing has power. Should have 12 volts. Okay, it does. All right. Whoop. Yeah. I'm a hell of a mechanic, but I'm not much with the camera. Let's show that again real quick. Still hit it. Okay, so when the key's on, there is 12 volts, so that's not bypassed or anything. Let's check some of the fuses real quick. Back on the battery. 12, 12, whatever. That's a little less than 12. Okay, well, that's because it's draining the battery already. All right, so yeah, everything's good. The fuse box is hot. I was wondering if I had a problem there or something. Okay, back to where we were. Just wanted to check that out. Kind of gives me an indication. I still got a bunch of wires here that I believe are actually going up to the radio. Because there's the antenna wire, and like I said, this goes up and ends up going into the dash under the radio. So if I pull that out, I'm sure I'll see. Now, I don't have the darn little things with me, you know, that you slide in here. Let me see if I can pull that out, or if I'm even going to worry about that, because there's another way to try real quick, which is to turn it on and hook it up and see, because right now it probably don't have power. Yeah. So that's what that is. That's all that is, I think. Now that could have just been hooked into here somewhere, but instead they ran it, you know, straight down. That's okay. It can be on its own circuit, but I'm pretty sure that's what all this is. So let me see what I can do with that. That cleans up all that stuff. It'll also clean up this mess here, but that's another thing. See, they got this tied in to something, and then they cut it off. So yeah, I still got a little bit of a mystery. See how this works? Oh yeah, I got it figured out. Oh, wait a minute, what's this? All right, stand by. Let me sort some stuff out. Okay, for now, the main thing was all this crud here was just driving me nuts. And I just, like I said, hadn't had time to get to it. So I'm so glad I got most of that is just for those heated grips, as you can see. And then battery tender has a, what am I trying to say? A 12-volt supply that you hook into your battery tender. So that's kind of what they had fished in there. I think I'm going to come up with some other better situation to charge phones, but that's what that was for, just a 12-volt supply for charging phones. I'm so glad I got that out of the way. Yes, these other wires are for the radio. Now, I may end up changing this radio out anyway. I think I am, because sometimes these buttons aren't working very well. Very nice radio, a little outdated. Marine type, worked really good, but I may be changing that, so I might just wait and tear all that out at the same time. That's what all this is going to as well, so I'll be able to clean all that up and everything else. So for now, I may just leave that apart. I'm not sure, because I got so much work to do, guys, like I told you about. But anyway, that takes care of a bunch of stuff for now. Let's just stop this video here.